Okay, students, good morning. So I started with the job scheduling last week, but before that, I have to just revise the MRP. So, what is MRP here? In the MRP, we are having the topics which I have discussed, like what is MRP? So, it is related to computerized inventory control, production planning system, management information system, and manufacturing control system. So, based on this particular thing, you are having what is MRP? That is most comprehensive approach to manufacturing inventory and other dependents which demand an effective inventory management system. So what is a MRP do? Like what is the function of the MRP? So MRP system determines item by item what is to be processed and when, as well as what is to be manufactured when. So this is based on order priorities and available capacities. When to use the MRP? So MRP can be used in the job for production, complex products, and where we have to assemble the order environments and discrete and dependent demand items. What can MRP do? So it will reduce the inventory levels. These are the these are the basic things like when we employ the MRP. Now, what are the basic advantages? Like what is the basic functions when we apply the MRP on any system? How it will improve the system. So that is basically the MRP. So reduce the component shortages, improve shipping performance, improve customer service, improve the productivity, simplified and accurate scheduling, reduce purchasing cost, improving production schedules, reduce manufacturing cost, reduce lead time, less scrap and rework, and you are having the high production quality. It will improve the communication, it will improve the plant efficiency, reduce the fleet high cost, reduce reduction in the excessive inventory. It will reduce the overtime, improve the supply schedules, improve calculation of material requirements, and improve the competitive position. Now, what are the objectives of the MRP? So, objectives I told you, inventory reduction, that is MRP determines how many components are required, when they are required in the order to meet the master schedule. It helps to procure the material component and when needed and thus avoid excessive buildup of the inventory. And second is reduction in the manufacturing and delivery lead time. That is MRP identify materials and component quantities, timings when they are needed, availabilities and procurements, and action required to meet the delivery deadline. MRP helps to avoid delays in the production and the priorities production activities by putting the dates on customers' job order. Third is a realistic delivery commitment. Like by using the MRP, production can give marketing timely information about likely delivery times to the prospective customers. And we are having the fourth objective of the MRP is like increase efficiency. The MRP provides a close coordination among various work centers and hence it will able to help to achieve uninterrupted flow of materials through the production line and this will increase the efficiency of the production system. Then basic steps of MRP like identifying requirements. What are the running MRP? Like it will create the suggestions and forming the suggestions. Identifying the requirements in given the step one, that is quantity on hand, quantity on open purchase order, quantity in and planned for manufacturing, quantity committed to existing orders, quantity forecasted, company sensitive, location sensitive, and date sensitive. Running MRP creating the suggestions includes critical items, expedite items, and delay items. And forming the suggestions include manufacturing order, purchasing order, and various reports. This is an overview of the MRP system. Like it includes the file structure file, master production schedule, inventory master file, and master MRP includes the for production structure file, manufacturing orders, purchase orders, and various reports. Now, what are the inputs that will be there in the in MRP? That is product structure file, master production schedule, and inventory master file. What is the bill of material? It is a material that lists the provides information useful to reconstruct the manufacturing process. It is the master product definition that contains the design information. This is a bill of material structure, which is for example a bicycle. It is having handlebars. It is having a port PN1001, frame assembly PN1002, wheels 1003, and frame 1004. Master production schedule, schedule of finished products, which represents production, not demand. Combination of customer order and demand, forecast, and when need to be produced. Inventory master file, on-hand quantities, on-order quantities, lot sizes, safety stocks, lead time, and past usage figures. Now, based on this, we are having the level code for different inventory costs like gross requirement, scheduled receipt, project on hand, net requirement, planned order, and planned order release. What are the terms that is defined for inventory like items, and number of these items being scheduled? Low level code, the lowest level of the items on the product structure file. Lot size, that is order multiples of quantity. Lead time, that is the time when an order is placed when received. PT, that is past due time bucket or order behind schedule. Gross requirement, that is demand for an item by time period. Scheduled receipts, that is material already ordered. Project on hand means expected and ending inventory. Net requirement means number of items to be provided and when. Planned order receipt means net requirements adjusted for lot size, and planned order release means planned order receipt offset for lead time. So based on that, I told you about this example. Now inputs to the production plan includes aggregated plan, marketing, customers demand, production customer capacity, inventory, procurement, supply performance, management, that is return of investment capital, engineering, design completion, human resource, manpower planning, cash flow. I told you the example. Conservative investors कौन होते हैं? जिसकी saving 3.5, fixed deposit 6.80, government bond 5 to 8, aggressive 45% for 12%. Planning process for MRP. Okay, what is the planning process for MRP? Is you are having a master production schedule, which is a part of production plan, and material requirement planning is there, MRP. Then the capacity requirement will be related to realistic component, execute capacity plans, and execute the material plans. The MRP outputs are manufacturing orders, purchasing orders, and various reports. I told you the case study about Hubble's lightning case, where before MRP, less than 75% of the orders are completed on time. After the implementation of MRP, 97% of the orders are completed on time. So you can see the difference from 75 to 97% when before MRP or when the implementation of MRP will be there. And 2% of the orders are completed within 1 or 2 days after due date. So based on these things, I told you about the traditional supply chain management, where raw material suppliers, manufacturers, wholesale retailers, and customers are there. So what is the traditional supply chain management? So all activities that occur between the growing or mining of raw materials and the appearance of finished products on the store shelf. It includes traditional supply chain. Information is passed through the supply chain reactively as participants increases their product orders and inherent the time lags causes problems. The new related to the product production technology include MRP, sales forecast, sales and operations, master production schedule, stock requirement list, bill of material, lead time, lot size, demand capacity planning, basic rates, inventory, demand management, sales history, production plan, rough cut, and actual cost. Non-ERP products issues like to meet the customer's demand efficiently. A company must develop a forecast of customer's demand, develop a production schedule to meet the estimated demand. ERP system is a good tool for developing an executive production plan, and goal production planning is to schedule production economy. Non-ERP production issues like production problem and non-ERP business having problems decided how much to take and when to take them. Problems of communication between marketing and salesperson, and the production personnel find it hard to deal with the sudden increase in demand that causes shortages or stockouts. Now, production problems. Inventory problems like production managers lack systematic way for accepting, meeting anticipated sales demands. Okay, accounting for purchasing in demand and so on. And accounting and purchasing, the production and accounting department must periodically compare the thing. All these things I have already discussed with you. The production planning ERP process, SAP, sales forecasting. In that, I told you, like when you are having the sales forecasting. So forecasting means the prediction. So when a new product is launched into the market, so its forecasting is being done. The purpose of the forecasting is to assess the performance of the product in the market when it reaches to the customer. So before that, the companies will forecast according to their calculations and their experience, like how the products will perform in the market when it was being given to the customer. So accordingly, I have discussed one problem also about the sales forecasting. Not going into the deep of that, sales costing operations like rough cutting planning, common terms in the manufacturing for aggregated planning, disaggregated to generate detailed production schedules. One SAP ERP system generator forecast, the planner can view the result and rough cut capacity. Then these are the discussions already discussed with you. Nature of the demand, independent demand, what is MRP procedure? Question can come in the exam, like what is the discuss in detail about the MRP procedure. The MPS procedure, consolidate the independent demand for forecast and customers order to determine the requirements of end products in the each time bucket in the planning horizon. After netting on hand and on order inventory and offsetting the left time, the production schedule of the end products MPS is determined. So in the MPS procedure, the available to promise is also determined. MPS is also then fed into the MRP procedure to determine the requirements of lower level components and raw materials. According to the demand, dependent demand that is directly related to or derived from the bill of material structure or for other items or end products. So such demands are calculated and need not to be forecasted. A given inventory item may have both dependent and independent demand at a given time. So for example, a part may be simultaneously be used as a component of assembly and also sold as a service part. So production to meet the demand should be scheduled so as to explicitly recognize its linkage to production intended to meet independent demand. Now, the gross requirement of the components are determined by calculating the planned order release of the parents via single level BOM exclusion. The net requirements are calculated by subtracting the on-hand inventory and scheduled receipts on order in each time bucket. After consideration of lot size, the net requirements are transformed into the planned order receipts. Planned order receipts appear in every period. Let time offsetting shift the planned receipts to accordingly drive the planned order receipts, which are the MRP results of current item. The MRP procedure continues to explore the POR to obtain the gross requirements of the component, and the MRP repeats the procedure until the POR, that is, the planned order release for all the items are determined. So the flow chart of the MRP procedure is, this is a formulation for the net requirement, that is gross requirement minus available inventory. Available inventory, that is on-hand inventory plus scheduled receipts of the first order minus allocations minus back orders minus safety, and available inventory is equals to project available balance at the end of the last period plus scheduled receipts of the current period. This is a MRP procedure flow chart. When a question comes, you have to make this flow chart. The MPS, that is part number, the quantity date with the single level BOM exclusion. Calculate gross requirement of the component with the planned order release in the corresponding period. Calculate the net requirement, that is gross requirement minus available inventory for each period. Determine the planned order receipts according to the lot size rule and offset time that determines the planned order release and obtain the MRP report for current items. So based on these things, I discussed with you about the case study of the sunglasses in detail. I'm not going into the detail of that. The calculations for GRMR, POR, and the international airport. Like in the international airport, marshalling like toilet cleaning, catering load is there. Then refueling, garbage dump is there, marshalling and departure. Then scheduling of the airport components using the MRP for different services, and how you can able to make the bill of service file with respect to the parent components and quantity and offset time. And suppose aircraft is scheduled to arrive at department at 12, the schedule is stated to have the MPS in manufacturing cases. So now we can name that the master services schedule. And then the different things I have discussed with you. So summary of the efficiency is like ERP can improve the efficiency of production and purchasing. Efficiency begins with the marketing sharing as a sales forecast. Production plan is created based on sales forecast and shared with purchasing so raw materials can be ordered properly. So MRP is a computerized inventory control production planning system that schedules the component items that is needed and which will track inventory and help you in many other aspects of business. Then I started with the job scheduling. So first thing in the job scheduling is what are the learning objectives or policies that is there in the scheduling. Scheduling means first of all is any activities of any component which will be carried out with respect to the time. Like at what time you can able to carry out the activity. Like if I am having the activity of X, which I will carry out with this particular time, then I will carry out the activity of Y with respect to the activity. So what are the activities that you can able to take or you can able to carry out with respect to the time? Like suppose any activity will be there with respect to one time, then the other time and the other time. So based on the time, how you can able to schedule the different things. Okay, that is called the scheduling. So one other example I will take is any particular product which we can make step by step. So after one machine, then the other machine, then the other machine. So we can able to take up the step by step activities, or maybe if it is random also, we can, or maybe parallel also, we can able to do that. That depends upon the time. So explain the different kinds of scheduling operations. Describe the different shop loading methods. Okay. Different type of the scheduling operations I told you, one by one if you are doing according to the time. Describe the different shop loading methods. Like different shop means suppose they're in milling shop, drilling shop, or maybe any other shop in which the machining will be done and your component is made. So how you can able to have the different shop loading methods with the help of which you can able to define the goals with respect to the time, or you can schedule like at what time you have to upload the material for this particular component. Develop a schedule using priority rules. So different priority rules like there are there in the scheduling like n job one machine, n job two machines, n job three machines. Okay, like suppose you have to make one particular job and you are having one machine. So within the one machine, you put the material and then you will get the job. If you want to modify the structure of the material component, then you are having two machines. In the one machine, one process will be done, and then that particular machine component goes to another machine for further processing, and then you will get the final product. So accordingly, you are having the priority rules like in which machine you will have to give the priority according to your time and your resource, and then how you can able to schedule that priority. So develop a schedule using priority rules. Calculate the scheduling for multiple workstations. So if you are having multiple workstation, like if you are having workstation X, then Y, then Z, or maybe more than that. So how you can able to schedule your activities with respect to the time for multiple workstations. So you have to calculate the scheduling for the multiple workstations, and based on that, you have to develop a schedule performance measure. Like you have already scheduled the component. So what is the performance that will be there with respect to your system and how you can able to perform that? So that is the basic policies or the learning objectives you can able to have for while getting through this chapter. Now there are three types of scheduling basically, which we consider for mechanical. That is job scheduling. In the job scheduling, we select the processes from the process pool, usually a disk, on disk, or maybe load them into memory, also known as long-term scheduler. That is basically a job. Process scheduling, select the processes from the ready queue. शॉर्ट टर्म शेड्यूल, इसको शॉर्ट टर्म शेड्यूलिंग भी बोलते हैं. जॉब शेड्यूलिंग को हम लोग लॉन्ग टर्म शेड्यूलिंग भी बोलते हैं. एंड द थर्ड शेड्यूलिंग इज शेड्यूल threads from within the source. So these are the basic three types of the scheduling that will be there with respect to the job. So based on that, what are the basic scheduling operations? What operations is being done with respect to, like, when you are going to schedule your component, then what are the operations that you can able to perform? So companies differentiate based on product volume and variety. Okay, so that is like you are having the certain set of the products, and it is having the some specific volume and the variety. So how you can able to see, like, whether what products we have made, accordingly what you can able to do with respect to the given process, and how you can able to differentiate the different things that is related to the different companies operations. So that is a thing, like how you can able to have this type of operations which will be used for different aspects, and how you can able to see, like the way companies will differentiate the process of this type of the thing. Then differentiation step, differentiation step, how the company organizes its operations. So based on that, you are having the operations. Maybe if a particular company is making X product or Y product or Z product, so how you can able to differentiate in between the X and Y, and how that particular thing will affect the company's organization due to its operations. And then each kind of company operations needs different scheduling techniques. So different scheduling techniques is being needed for different operations that will be carried out in the industries. Okay, because we cannot able to implement the same process for all the operations in a company. So each kind of company operations needs different scheduling techniques, and scheduling has specific definitions for routing, bottleneck, due date, slack, and queue. Okay, you should have the different definitions that is related to the scheduling. Like you should have the bottleneck, you should have the due date, slack, and all, which will be a part of the scheduling. So these are the basic terminology. Now, what is the forward scheduling? The forward scheduling incorporates selecting a planned order release date and scheduling of subsequent activity thereafter. Okay, you are having a forward scheduling, which is one type of the scheduling. What it will do is it will incorporate the selection of a planned order release. Like we have planned any particular manufacturing of any particular product, so you can able to select or incorporate the policies that will be applied and scheduled for subsequent activity thereafter. In the backward scheduling system, you begin with the planned receipt date or due date, the date typically given by the customer. That customer ने आपको डेट दी है, उसके हिसाब से आपको चीजें शेड्यूल करनी है. यहाँ पे क्या फॉरवर्ड शेड्यूलिंग है, आप सामने से टाइम के अकॉर्डिंग अपनी चीजों को शेड्यूल कर रहे हैं. तो जनरली make to stock manufacturers use forward scheduling, while make to order manufacturers, but also those who make to stock according to the sales forecast, can opt for backward scheduling. So however, these two methods of scheduling can also be mixed. Companies can use different methods for different situations. So generally what will happen is that you are having a product that will be made. So how you can able to make your stock to manufacture product in the forward way. But generally what it will do is like make to order, but the companies will go for backward scheduling, and इसका mixture भी हो सकता है. You can able to apply the forward and backward type of the scheduling, and you can able to use it for different situations. So what the companies are doing is companies can use different methods for different situations. Backward scheduling is planning with the primary objective of completing tasks right on time. So how you can able to have the backward scheduling? What it will do is it will plan with the primary objective of completing the task right on time. So at right time, you are having the task that will be completed. Okay. And backward scheduling is being, like I told you, it is being the point which will be given by the customer. Like I want this particular product to be made and get it at this particular time. So accordingly, you have to apply the backward scheduling. So backward scheduling in the sense it is related to planning with the basic primary objective of completing the task right on time. And backward scheduling is optimized for flexibility, and it will allow the business to easily incorporate last time changes or customizations. Unlike forward scheduling, which schedules into the future, backward scheduling could potentially schedule into the past because these resources were not available to complete the job. Students, 1 minute, I'll just drink the water. So unlike in the forward scheduling, which schedules the things into the future, backward scheduling could potentially schedule into the past because the resources were not available to complete the job. Okay. The forward scheduling क्या करता है कि फ्यूचर की तरफ मूव करता है. बैकवर्ड शेड्यूलिंग पास्ट की चीजों को देखता है because reason is resources were not available to complete the job. So backward scheduling then may turn around and actually forward schedule the job to tell the customer the earlier delivery time. Backward scheduling में क्या है? It will turn around and it will give a forward schedule. That is the job to tell the customer that your earliest time delivery date will be there. Now, what are the basic definitions that is related to the, or you can say what are the terms that is related to the scheduling? In the exam question can come like what are the terms, important terminologies that can be used in the scheduling. So you can say routing. The routing, the operations to be performed, their sequence, the work center, and the time standard. Means like what is the operations that you have to perform, and what are the sequence of operations that you have put, like I have to do this operation A, then after that I have to perform operation B, then after that I have to perform operation C, and so on. So in the sequence, how you can able to perform the operations, the work center, and the time standard that is related to routing. Bottleneck, a resource whose capacity is less than the demand placed on it. So what are the resources that is there whose capacity is very less and you can able to place the demand on it? Due date, when the job is supposed to be finished. So you can able to say like when you can finish the job, it will be there with the due. So you have put some date like I want this particular task to be completed by this time. I want that particular task to be completed by that time. So what is the due date of that? So when the job is to be supposed to be finished, that is called the due date. Slack, the time that a job can be delayed and still finish by its due date. Okay, whatever time is being given to the job that can be delayed and still it will be finished due to the due date, that is called the slack. And queue means a waiting line. Okay, waiting line means like the people or maybe the activities that is to be performed, but they are in waiting. Characteristics of high volume operations. So high volume flow operations like automobiles, breads, gasolines can be repetitive or continuous. So you are having the operations like automobile operations, or maybe the bread operations, gasoline operations that will be repetitive or continuous in nature. High volume standard items is being made with a smaller profit margin. They are designed for high efficiency and high utilization of the resources. Okay, the design of this type of the high volume operations that will be there according to the design of high efficiency and high utilization. High volume flow operations with fixed routings. Bottlenecks are easily identified. You can easily identify the bottlenecks when you are having these characteristics of high volume. And then commonly used line balancing is there to design the process around the required task. Low volume operations क्या है? Low volume means job operations are designed for flexibility. Flexibility means that at any time you can change anything. That is called the flexibility. So use more general purpose equipment. Okay, you can use more general purpose equipment for making this thing. You can able to customize the product with higher margins. Customization of the product will be there. It will have the high margin. Each product or service may have its own routine, that is scheduling it much more difficult. तो हर एक प्रोडक्ट की और उसकी सर्विसेज की अपनी खुद की रूटिंग होती है, इंडिविजुअल रूटिंग होती है, and scheduling for that is very difficult or much more difficult for that. And bottlenecks move around depending upon the products being produced at given time. Important terminologies that is related to the scheduling. अब ये देखो important question है, question can come in the exam. What are the important terminologies that will be there in the scheduling? Terms कौन कौन से होते हैं जो कि आपके scheduling में important होते हैं? What are the important terms used in the scheduling? The job flow time, that is time a job is completed minus the time the job was first available for processing. Okay, जब time आपका एक job को बनाने के लिए complete हो minus the time the job was first available for processing, that is average flow time measures responses. Average jobs in the system, it will measure the amount of work in progress. The average measures responsiveness and work in process inventory. Whatever work will be there in the progress, you can able to complete it, and according to the response. Make span, that is time it takes to finish a batch of jobs. That is the measure of efficiency. So whatever time it will take to finish a job, that is called the make span. Job lateness, whether the job is completed ahead of or behind the schedule. कब job complete होती है ahead और behind schedule में, that is called the job lateness. Or job tardiness, that is how long after the due date a job was completed, measures the due date performance. So कितनी ज़्यादा due date के हिसाब से job complete होती है और due date के हिसाब से कैसे हम उसको measure कर सकते हैं, that is called the job tardiness. Apart from the maximum tardiness, maximum earliness, number of jobs, early jobs, number of tardy jobs, maximum tiredness, maximum earliness, utilization and idle time. These are also the important terminology. Now, क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं. पहला है आपका जॉब शॉप प्रॉब्लम्स गैंट चार्ट रिप्रेजेंटेशन. अब सपोज आपके पास 3 जॉब्स हैं, जॉब 1, जॉब 2 एंड 3, और मशीन की प्रोसेसिंग टाइम इन डेज दी हुई है. जैसे सपोज मशीन 1 की प्रोसेसिंग टाइम डेज में है 7, मशीन 2 की 6, मशीन 1 की विद रिस्पेक्ट टू जॉब 1 is given 7. मशीन 3 की दी हुई है सेकेंड कॉलम में 8 फॉर जॉब 1 एंड मशीन 2 की दी हुई है यहाँ पे विद रिस्पेक्ट टू जॉब 1 दैट इज 10. जॉब 2 है आपका, तो इसकी मशीन की जो दी हुई है प्रोसेसिंग दैट विल बी 6, मशीन 1 की 4 एंड मशीन 3 की 12. जॉब 3 की है मशीन 1 8, machine 2 8 and machine 3 7. So we have to provide the Gantt chart. Like Gantt chart is a chart which will represent like at in intervals of time how you can able to complete your activity. So job 1 की 7 है with respect to machine 1. Okay. Then here you can see पहला machine 1 के लिए 7 और job 1. जॉब 2 के लिए मशीन 1 का यूज हो रहा है और 4 दिन में मशीन कंप्लीट करके जॉब 2 दे रही है, और जॉब 3 के लिए मशीन 7 दिन में कंप्लीट कर रही है. M1 कहाँ पे, ये 8 दिन में, सॉरी जॉब 3 के लिए मशीन 1 का जो यूटिलाइजेशन हो रहा है वो 8 में हो रहा है. तो जॉब 1 के लिए मशीन 1 7, जॉब 2 के लिए मशीन 1 4 एंड जॉब 3 के लिए मशीन 1 8. जॉब 2, जॉब 1 एंड जॉब 3 एट द रेट 6. अब जॉब 2 के लिए जो मशीन है वो 6, मशीन 2 6. फिर उसके बाद यहाँ पे मशीन 2 8 और मशीन 2 यहाँ पे जॉब 3 कब कंप्लीट कर रहा है 8 पे और यहाँ पे 10 पे. देन मशीन 2 जॉब 6 जॉब 10 एंड जॉब 8. यहाँ मशीन 2 का क्या कर रहा है, जॉब 2 के हिसाब से देखें तो मशीन 2 पहला 6, फिर उसके बाद मशीन 2 जॉब 1 जो कंप्लीट कर रहा है दैट विल बी मशीन 2 के हिसाब से 10 एंड जॉब 3 के हिसाब से मशीन 2 इट विल बी 8. तो टोटल यहाँ पे इसकी जो स्पेसिफिक वैल्यू आ रही है वो 19 है. J3 एट द रेट ऑफ 19 एंड मशीन 3 की 8 12 एंड 7. तो जो वैल्यू है दैट विल बी गिवन एज 11. So based on that this is a chart title कि आइडल टाइम में कि जब मशीन बंद रहेगी तो उस टाइम पे क्या होगा. ठीक है, जब मशीन 2 बंद रहेगी तो क्या होगा, जब मशीन 3 बंद रहेगी तो क्या होगा. Now job problem, that is Gantt chart representation. Total completion of time, टोटल हम कैलकुलेट कर लें. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे मशीन 1 का जॉब का तो 7 8 11 11 और 8 19. तो यहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा हमारा 1 मिनट 12. ओके, यहाँ पे है आपका 4 और 7, तो 7 4 11 और 11 प्लस 8 19. तो टोटल जो आपकी टाइम होगा इन डेज with respect to job 1 with respect to machine 1 that will be 19. ठीक है, उसके बाद यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि आपका 6 प्लस 10 16 16 और प्लस 8 24. यहाँ पे आपका होगा 8 प्लस 12 दैट इज 20 एंड देन हियर इट विल बी 27. तो यहाँ 27 हो जाएगा. तो बेस्ड ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग टोटल 25 10 तो 24 नहीं है 25 आया था प्लस 27 प्लस 40 मेक स्पैन जो डेट है टोटल डेज जो कि सबसे ज्यादा हो रहा है सारी एक्टिविटीज को और सारे प्रोडक्ट को मिला के वो 40 डेज का है. टोटल कंप्लीशन टाइम है 92 डेज एंड सपोज ड्यू डेट फॉर जॉब 1 इज 25 डेज. जॉब 2 सपोज करना है, मान लेना है कि इट विल बी 30 डेज फॉर जॉब 2 एंड J3 के लिए 35 डेज. सो 1 2 3 CT 27 25 and 40, that is the CT means completion time. 27 plus 25 plus 40. Due date है DD, that is 25 for the job 1 For job 2 it will be 30 and for job 3 it will be 35. Tiredness इससे माइनस का तो 27 में से 25 2, फिर यहाँ पे 0 रहेगा because we don't have to consider 2, and then from here 40 minus 35 that will be 5. So number of tardy jobs will be 2. Here maximum tardy job 30 minus 25 it will be 5, and minimum tardiness it will be 2 when you just consider this 27 minus 25 for this. Same way for this also, same way for this also. The number of the jobs early will be 1. Idle time machine 1 के लिए 21, M2 के लिए 16, M3 के लिए 13, and utilization will be total कितना आया था 19 divided by, we have taken the make span of 40 days, so 19 divided by 40, M2 24 divided by 40, and M3 that will be 27 divided by 40. That is the utilization of the machine with respect to making the job. Now what are the priority rules based on processing time? अब priority rules क्या क्या होते हैं कि जिसके बेसिस पे हम लोग जो हमारा प्रोसेसिंग टाइम है उसको डिफाइन करते हैं. तो इसमें क्या आता है आपका शॉर्ट टर्म प्रायोरिटी टाइम, शॉर्टेज प्रोसेसिंग टाइम कि कितना कम टाइम में हम किसी भी चीज को प्रोसेस कर लें. लॉन्ग टर्म प्रायोरिटी टाइम मीन्स द लॉन्गेस्ट प्रोसेसिंग टाइम, कितना ज़्यादा टाइम ले किसी भी एक चीज को बनाने के लिए, दैट इज कॉल्ड द लॉन्ग प्रोसेसिंग टाइम. एंड द थर्ड इज द शॉर्टेस्ट टोटल प्रोसेसिंग टाइम, कितना कम हमारा टोटल प्रोसेसिंग टाइम हो, शॉर्टेस्ट प्रोसेसिंग टाइम. So LPTP, that is longest total processing time, short remaining processing time, and LRPT means longest remaining processing time. The priority rules based on number of operations, that is minimum number of operations, maximum number of operations, minimum remaining operations, and minimum remaining operations, maximum remaining operations. And priority rules based on due dates, that will be earlier due date. Slack means क्या होता है? That is due date current time, remaining processing time. Minimum slack, that is remaining number of operations. CR means the critical ratio, that is time until due date divided by the processing time, that is the critical ratio. And then the other priority rules like first in first out, first come first serve, last in first serve, and last in first out. That is first in first serve means FIFO, first come first serve FCFS, last in first serve LIFS, and LIFS means last in first out, and then random. These are the or priority rules. And then there is a combination, like there are n number of possibilities for priority rules. That depends upon the sector of the industry where they are doing, and possibilities of the sequence in nth term, where n is the number of jobs and m is the number of machines. So suppose you are having the job problems like Gantt chart representation for the number of operations and number of machines. So n number of operations and n number of machines. So suppose if you are having the operations A1, A2, A3, A4, and the machine number are A1 के लिए M1, A2 के लिए M3, A3 के लिए M4, and A4 के लिए M2, and processing dates are given 5, 3, 7, 4. Suppose for number of operations B1, B2, B3, तो उसके लिए machine assigned है B1 के लिए M2, B2 के लिए M3, and B3 के लिए M4, and processing time is 2, 6, 8. Suppose हमारे पास जो number of operations है वो C है, तो उसके number of operations है C1, C2, C3, C4. तो इसके बाद machine number है M1, फिर M2, फिर M3, फिर M4, और processing date है 4, 6, 8, and 2. So with respect to that, this is a Gantt chart representation. A और फिर इसके बाद B और फिर इसके बाद C. So let me go back. So इसका total करो 5 plus 3 8, 7 plus 3 10, 15 और 19. That is for 8. For B it will be 6 plus 2 8, 8 8 16. For here, let me have this annotation. So that is 10, 15, 19. This will be 19. Here it will be 16. And for C, it will be 6 plus 4, 10, 18, 20. So when you add up the activities for M1, M2, M3, A4 for operations A1, A2, A3, A4, For B, it will be B1, B2, B3 with machine M2, M3, M4. So 16. And C1, C2, C3, C4 के लिए M1, M2, M3, M4. It will be 4, 6, 8, 2. So it will be total addition will be 20 in nature. So suppose we are having activities. We'll first make the row of activities from 1 to 30. Give the numbers. Then machine A1 के लिए A1 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 activities for A1. Then 5 for also for A1. Then 6 के लिए C1, 7 के लिए C1, 8 के लिए C1 and 9 के लिए C1. For machine 2 B1 B1, C2 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 C2, A4 A4 A4. And with respect to the machine B1, you are having the activity for A1 is related to activity. B2 C2 means ultimately you are having a span of 25 days, and how you can able to use and connect the machines. Like एक machine अगर मान लो A job के लिए use हो रही है for 5 days, तो B job अगर करना है तो उसके लिए 6 days जो उसके सामने दिया हुआ है. जैसे हमारा मशीन 1 है, A जॉब को करने के लिए 5 days का टाइम यूज कर रही है, ठीक है. या फिर हम A2 के लिए और C1 के लिए मशीन 1 यूज हो रही है 4 के लिए. तो यहाँ पे देखो आप 5 दिन के लिए यूज हो रही है मशीन 1 A1 जॉब करने के लिए. उसके बाद 6 7 8 9 आपके C1 जॉब को करने के लिए यूज हो रही है. यहाँ पे देखो 4 और यहाँ पे दिया है 5. तो फर्स्ट 5 डेज 1 2 3 4 5 फर्स्ट 5 डेज आपके जॉब A1 को करने के लिए यूज हो रही है मशीन 1. एंड नेक्स्ट 4 डेज 6 7 8 9 आपके जो C1 जॉब है उसको करने के लिए यूज हो रही है. देन उसके बाद अगर हम आते हैं A2 पे मशीन 3 पे 3 डेज और B के लिए 6, C के लिए C3 के लिए 8. तो अब इसको कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे? B1 मशीन 2 B1 B2 के लिए यूज हो रही है, और फिर यहाँ पे आगे के 1 2 3 4 5 6 और 2 8 मशीन 2 जो है वो B1 जॉब को करने के लिए 8 दिन के लिए यूज हो रही है. विथ मशीन 3 ये मशीन 3 दिया हुआ है यहाँ पे. सेम वे यहाँ पे A2 जॉब को करने के लिए ये यूज हो रही है 5 डे पे. इस तरीके से यू हैव टू शो द रिलेशनशिप, एंड दैट विल शो लाइक कौन सी मशीन आइदर इंडिविजुअली और कॉम्बिनेशन में ये सारी एक्टिविटीज को कंप्लीट कर रही है, ताकि आपका जो ओवरऑल जो टाइम है वो सही टाइम पे आप कंप्लीट करके वो चीज दे दो. so that we can able to complete it, discuss it in the next turn more about the different cases, and then we will start the bill of material. तो आज मैंने जो पढ़ाया that is reverse and backward scheduling, forward scheduling, scheduling operations, different type of scheduling, scheduling definitions, high volume, low volume operations, terminology that will be there with respect to the scheduling, and the cases for the end machines and number of jobs and the important terminology. So if anyone is having any doubt or anything to ask, you can ask now. किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो पूछे अभी. Anyone wants to ask anything, you can ask now. Harshit, Rishabh, Aryan, anyone wants to ask anything? Viren, see, there are some students whose result is very bad. Viren, then Bhavin, and all. जिसका भी result खराब है, they have to work very hard because now it is a second term. Okay, so we will assign you some work, and then you have to complete that work and submit it at the time of submission. And I have given one assignment also. So how many of you have completed? I will check it today. If you have not completed your assignment, I will put directly 0. So I am still giving you 2 more days. By Monday, that is 20th, all of you who have not completed the assignment that is given by me, if you have not given, that is I am taking it for the CSE rubrics component. If you are not submitting your assignment on time, then you will get 0 marks. I can't help in that. So based on that particular thing, what I told you, like you have to complete the things on time, and then only you can able to get the marks. 1 minute, I will just open and tell like how many students are left who have not given the submission, who have not done the submission of the assignment till now. One minute, I will tell the student's name. Those students who have not given the assignment: Akshata, Bhavin, Dhruv, Harshit, Jay, Jignesh Chauhan, Karthik, Kishan, Mohit, Nikunj, Rushabh, Saif, Viren, Vishal. These students have not submitted me the assignment. So I am already giving you 2 more days. Okay. Submit your assignment, failing which you will get 0 marks in your CSE. Karthik, Kishan, submit your assignment. I have given you. If not, then I cannot able to help you in the CSE rubrics marks. So I am giving you 2 more days, Saturday, Sunday. Write your assignment and submit it. Okay. So all the students, if you want to ask anything, you can ask now, or otherwise you can give your attendance and you can leave the meeting. Okay, students, thank you. I'm ending the lecture.